All right, it looks like we're on. Hello to everyone at Cimtech. My name's Nick. I'm the account manager here at RCN Technologies. I'm also your own personal Google admin. Uh, so thank you for joining me today with this tutorial on Gmail. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. And just before I do, I want to say that I will be moving kind of fast, but this video will be posted on your help desk portal a little later. So you can always come back to it or refer to the resources I have on that portal as well. So let me go ahead and start my screen sharing and we'll start the presentation. Okay, now that it says I am screen sharing. So first of all, to introduce RCN Technologies a little better, we do G Suite deployments, just like for Cimtech. We don't just care about technology, though. We care about you. And that's why this video is specifically tailored to introduction to G Suite for Cimtech. Now I'm going to go over a little bit what G Suite does, and then I'm going to move into Gmail. So first of all, this is also an introduction to G Suite. Cimtech has gone Google, thank God. We can communicate, collaborate, change the world of business. Welcome to G Suite. That sounds very pretentious, but people, this is extremely true. And I am a little geeked out over this, and maybe you all aren't as lame as I am, but I really think you're going to enjoy what's going to happen going forward. I got a short 60-second video for you to watch for the impact that G Suite can do for your all's business. So here we go.
If this was how it could be, the world would all soon see the potential inside, the wave we could ride. If this was how it could be. If this was how it could be, I would turn into we. With a face-to-face meet, our thoughts were complete. If this was how it could be. If this was how it could be, our machines would be the key. The problems they'd solve, helping plans to evolve. If this was how it could be. If this was how it could be, we'd make 1 + 1 = 3. We'd be hiring more, and spirits would soar. If this was how it could be. And now this is how it can be. A place where ideas flow free. We all work together, and business runs better. When your apps all begin with a G.
Now, doesn't that video get everybody hyped about G Suite? I know it does for me. Well, anyway, I'm moving on. I hope you enjoyed that video, by the way. It's one of my favorites. So G Suite, a little bit about the apps that you all will be using day in and day out. The first 3 are underlined because that's what we're going to go over first. And these are the ones that you're going to use quite literally every single day that you're at work. So some of the features are Gmail, of course, which I'll be going over today, Drive, Calendar, Docs, Sheets, Google Forms, Slides, Google Sites, which the sites are like your help desk portal that I created for you all. Google Keep for note taking, Google Hangouts for communication. That's actually what I am recording through right now. Google Groups and the cloud search for everything in your G Suite. So first of all, and most importantly today is Gmail. Gmail is your email user interface. You'll be able to search for messages. You'll be able to organize your inbox very easily, and you can build relationships with integrated chat and video calls all from your Gmail page. It's a very, very, very simple user interface as a whole. And overall, it makes the job easier. Now, I know some of you may be privy to Outlook 365, Outlook Mail, any of that, but I promise you this is way better and way easier to handle. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is you're going to go to gmail.com and you will be prompted to log in. And this is what the site looks like. So you're going to go up here to the upper right hand corner and click sign in. And usually if you haven't signed in before, it's going to prompt you to put in your username and password, but I have all of these right here for me. I'll click on Nick Sledge for the email. And then usually my Chromebook remembers my password, but you're supposed to put in your password as well. And then it'll prompt you to this page. Welcome to Gmail interface. This is the screen that we are brought to after we log in. And if you'll see to the left-hand corner right here, the red inbox, inbox is highlighted in red, and that's where all of my emails lie. So I'm going to go over all of these buttons and little folder updates along the side here and tell you a little bit about it. So first of all, this is the inbox. This is where all your emails come. And you'll notice these little tabs up here that basically filter your inbox. And I'll show you how to get rid of those and add those as we go on. But first, I'd like to focus on here. So first of all, this is your main menu. These little lines up to the top left corner, you can toggle it on and off. And if you hover over it, all of these show up. And when you hover back, it gives you a little more room. There's also a sidebar over here that creates, shows you a calendar view, your notes that you're taking, and tasks for you to write down. And you can drag and drop emails into the inbox. And I will get into that. So we're going to start here. So the inbox, that's where all of your emails come, of course. I assume nobody's very new to that. Another thing is your starred inbox. You can star an email, and it is going to go not only in your inbox, you can go to star, and then this same email that you starred will show up in the starred for future reference if you think that's a very important one. Another tab down here is a snooze button. Now you can snooze emails like you snooze your morning alarm. I do that about 3 times every morning, and I assume some of you may be like that as well. So it's a very good feature, and I'll go over that a little bit later. This is all your sent mail and your drafts. So cool thing about drafts is it has an autosave feature. So while you're creating an email, you can write it and say like the power goes out or something and your computer goes off, computer dies or something. It will automatically save as you type in this email. So if you need to come back to it, you can go to drafts and it will pull right back up where you left off. That's a beautiful thing about G Suite in general. All of these apps auto save as you make changes, so there's no reason to go back up and press save document or something. And that saves quite a bit of time, and it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. And I'm going to go down here and click the more button, and so there's these little tabs. There's all mail. And that's a cool thing about the Gmail. They kind of started all of this. Every single bit of your mail that you keep, sent and received, is all in the all mail folder. Now, spam, of course, is all the amount of stupid, really weird emails that you get that Gmail filters for you, and it'll go straight into your spam folder. And then there's the trash, of course. Now, the spam and the trash folder tab, they both keep emails for up to 30 days. I think that's very important to say. So anything you move to spam or trash will stay in there for 30 days unless you manually delete them forever. So you have that amount of time to kind of go back in there and see some of the emails you may need to change back in your inbox or something like that. So that is mostly on this sidebar here. So I'm going to go back to inbox. And if you go over to the far right, there's this little gear that is the settings tab. Now, there are plenty of things you can do here, and I'm going to start with the display density. Now, the display density is how you view your emails. If you look right now, my emails right here, you can see it not only has the name of the person who sent it and the people who in the body of the email. You can also see any attachments in the user interface. And instead of just clicking on the email and then going to the attachment, it is a lot easier to just click on the attachment itself through this inbox. So I'm going to use some of the business cards that I've been proposing, and I'll go ahead and click that and open it up, and boom. That's one of the cool things about it as well. It's very easy to find any attachments that you're looking for. So again, I'm going to touch on display density. You can choose your view. Now, my view right now is the default view with all of the attachments shown or anything like that. There is another view. It's a comfortable view. I'll press OK and I'll apply these changes. And now you see that it's a little more compact. If you have loads and loads of emails, and you want to see more on your screen, it may be a little easier. It depends. It's all on personal preference, but at least Gmail gives you these personal preferences, and you can make it completely compact. So if you have tons and tons of emails, see, it makes it a lot skinnier, and it shows a lot more emails on one page that you can see. I'm going to go back to default because I like that a little better. Now, to go a little further, just bringing on the basics, we'll go to themes, and this is how you can customize your inbox. You can make it look a little cooler, and like here are all of the picture options for backgrounds and stuff like that. So we'll just go ahead and apply the changes. This Lake Tahoe picture, beautiful place, and that completely changes your user interface. And you got a cool little background. You can completely customize whatever you'd like in here, and gives you a little personality. But I'm going to switch back to the default because that's what you all will be seeing when you first open your Gmail. You click save, and it's back to normal. All right. So secondly, I would like to address these little tabs in your inbox. So all of these are still connected to your regular inbox. However, Gmail itself, it's a very intuitive system. It actually learns the longer that you're in Gmail, it learns your habits, it learns who you talk to, and it gives you actually suggestions on like what to add, what not to add, who not to add in an email, anything like that. It's a very intuitive user interface, and it's going to make things a lot easier for you all. And these tabs right here, so here's my primary, my social, my promotions tab, and my updates. And you can change all of these. Oops, you can change all of these in your settings, but it's very important. This is just a good way to separate some emails in your inboxes. Let's see. So now that we kind of covered a little bit about the ins and outs of where you can go and explaining some of the tabs that are in Gmail, let's start with composing an email. So if you want to compose an email, I'll go ahead and hover over it. So you'll press compose, and this little email on the bottom right pops up. So if you want to, so you put whoever you want to send it to. I'm just going to send it to myself, actually. Nick at Elevated RCN. You can put in the subject. Oh, actually, before I go there, you can choose to carbon copy somebody or blind carbon copy somebody. And I'll just type here and here. And the cool thing about this is you can take these little tabs, and if you feel like you made a mistake or anything, you can move them around. Instead of BCC, I can carbon copy myself, or I can send it directly to myself. And I can also delete these. Perfect. And the subject, I'll just put test. And this is the body of the email. So clearly can't type right now. I'm a little nervous. Okay. Now this is your body. And this is my email signature, which here at RCN Technologies, we set that all up for you all. pre or post deployment, so you will not have to worry about any of that really. But you can add an email signature in the settings, and I'll show you where to do that towards the end. So at the bottom right here, this is all the format settings for text. I can change the font. I can change the text size to huge, make it bold, italicize it, underline it, change the color. Let's see, I can add bullet points, numbers. I can indent, anything like that. So that's just regular basic text formatting for you, all at the bottom. And if you click this paper clip here, you can attach files as attachments, and it'll go to your computer and take all of these. You can click one, and you can click one, and it'll add it to the body of the text. Now, another cool thing is a link. You can add a link in here. When you insert one, you can basically say, click here, and then just go www.elevatebyRCN.com. And you can even test this link before you even put it in the email itself. Click OK, and you see where it says click here. If I just click here, the link that I put in will post. And this is a website for our lovely little business we have. All right. Now, you can also add emojis. It's basically like an iPhone, which I find pretty cool. You can add those, just to put a little pizzazz in your emails if you so choose. You can also insert files using your drive instead of your computer files, and it'll open up a little thing. Here's all the photos in my drive, and I can insert any one of these files into it. I just do one of the Cloud Concierge, and then it'll show up like this in the email body. You can send it. You can add pictures. You can actually send request money through email using Google Pay. You can discard the draft with this little trash button and these little more options right here. You can default to full screen. You can add labels on it. You can request a read receipt once someone has finished reading your email. Plain text mode, I definitely do not recommend that because it takes away stuff from your signature. And you can either print the email and check. You can even check your spelling in it as well, which is pretty cool. So you can pretty much have flawless emails all within the interface of just making an email in itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and send this to. I sent it to myself, and if you notice, a number 1 popped up in my inbox, and that indicates that you have a new email, and you notice that it's different from the ones I've already read because it's already set in bold. And I'll click it, and this is my email that I just sent myself. If you noticed, if you go to more and you go to all mail, whatever I sent myself is now in there. And you notice it up top here, it has this little label that says inbox. That is because it has been dedicated to the inbox. And I can always add labels later, which I will have resources on for you on your company portal. So we talked a little bit about composing an email, and we talked about receiving an email, but I want to go a little further in that. So when I open this email up, I can either star the email, and it would go into the stars tab. Oops. This little arrow right here, that is to reply to it. It goes down here. You can reply to that email. Or you click more, there's tons of other options. You can either forward to this email to somebody. You can filter messages like this into a certain tab. You can print the email, delete the message, report it as spam or phishing. Google does an amazing job in filtering these very bad emails that you are not going to have to see or even deal with usually, because it can filter it so well. You can show the original. You can translate the message if there's any text in there from a foreign language that you don't know. You can download the message itself, and you can mark it as unread. And if you mark that as unread, it's going to be as if you never opened it in the first place. All right. Now, the next thing I would like to go over are these little buttons up top. They all have a purpose. So the first one is archiving a message. Now, when you archive a message, it leaves your inbox as if it is deleted, but it is in fact not deleted. Once you archive it, it still shows up in the all mail folder. So we're going to archive this, and you go to your all mail folder, and it is still there. So technically, you deleted it from Site, but you did not delete it from Gmail, which is actually a very good thing to do, because you may need this email in the future, but you just don't want it to clutter up your inbox. And this is the best way to do it. So moving on, you can report this message as spam if Google hasn't already done it already. You can delete the message. You can mark it as unread up here as well. You can snooze the message. Now, when you snooze it, you can snooze it until, say, tomorrow at 8 a.m. Tomorrow, or Saturday at 8 a.m. Well, it's Saturday now. I apologize. Saturday tomorrow for right now. I apologize. At a Saturday at 8 a.m., you will get a reminder that you have an email. So that's a pretty good thing too. Or you can also pick a time or date, whichever you choose. Another one, this is a move to inbox. So it's actually the opposite of archiving an email, and it'll move back to your inbox. So I'm going to go back into my inbox, and boom, here it is, the email that we archived. Now, you can also move this to any tab or filter that I have created under. And you can also add labels to it. So we'll just put test and enter, create new. You can either nest it under a label as well, kind of like a file structure, but we're going to make it a master label right now. So when you create it, I added a label right here that says test. Now, if you go over to the inbox, the label shows up right here. And when I go to test, that label is actually right in that same label. It's also in my inbox as test as well. And there might be some other options. You can mark it as unread, mark as not important. You can add it to your tasks, which I think is a very cool thing. And now this email right here has been added to my task. And I know once I open that taskbar up, I have remembered what to do. And you can even add details to it, like reminder to send. Okay. All right, now out of that. See, you can mute emails from these people. So if you get an email like this from someone, it may show up in your inbox and you don't feel like reading it, so you don't have to even deal with it. All right. And I think I've covered a lot of all the things that you can do in Gmail just as far as an introduction goes. But I would like to go into settings real quick and show you all what that looks like as well. So you go up to the gear tab, and you click settings. And this is the list of settings that you have. We're in the general tab now. We're in general, labels, inbox, accounts and import, filters and blocked addresses, forwarding, and POP IMAP. You all probably don't have to worry about that. You know, the add-ons that we put on, chat, advanced, offline, themes. Now in the general settings, I'd like to go over a couple of things. First thing I'd like to do is talk about conversation view. Now, this is a bit controversial, but I always have it on. So when you set it, it sets whether emails of the same topic are grouped together. And sometimes that can be confusing to some people, but with someone like me who has pretty much always been in Gmail, it's very easy for me to see. But you can always toggle it on and off right here and see what you prefer. And I really do highly recommend that you go through these settings and like in some of your downtime, and maybe you can cater it to your needs a little bit. You can make your own filters and blocked addresses, anything like that. So an inbox, your inbox size, the categories that are in your inbox, like the social promotions updates, you don't have to have those. You can uncheck them, and then anything that was unchecked goes to your primary, and you won't have to see those anymore. So that's always an option for you as well. One more thing, if you scroll down in the general settings, you can add a picture to your Gmail account up here, up the top right, and it'll show people your picture instead of a little letter of your first name. It can either be visible to everyone or visible only to people that you chat with. Good privacy settings. And then down here is the signature. Again, we will be putting these in for you all, but it's very important, I think, that you at least know where it's at in the general settings tab. You can always go down here and change it, add text to it, anything that you need or see fit to the signature of your emails. And once you make changes, it's very important that you slide down here and you click Save Changes. I haven't made any changes, so that's not available to me, but it will be available if you did make any. So I will click Cancel and go back to the general tabs. And I guess a few other things that maybe we can go over. If you, instead of resetting your page, there is a little refresh button right here inside of the Gmail app that you press refresh, and it refreshes your inbox just in case there are any new emails coming up that you haven't seen before. Also, if you go to the top right here, any notifications that you have will be in this inbox, and it's all caught up. But I think an important thing to say is this is your app picker. Your app picker has everything that you need to get to all of the apps in G Suite. You can click on Gmail. If you need to go to your drive, you can click it here. Any docs, sheets, or slides that you need to get to, you can go directly to that and pick one of them. You can go to your calendar. Here is the Google Sites if you need to get into that. It has a lot of stuff. You don't always, of course, you may not use all of these, but I think it's good to show that they're all right here at the tip of your fingers. Google Maps, you can use your photos. Google Hangouts that we use for all of our communication, which is also over here to the bottom left-hand corner. And if you see, you all have definitely met Austin. He asked me something, but I will get back to him in a moment. Google Keep, that is for note taking. They all look like sticky notes, but they're very clear and concise, and they're very easily organized. I do recommend that you all use that as well. So that about covers everything in the user interface as far as a basic introductory tutorial. Let me switch back to my face to everyone's chagrin, I'm sure. All right. So, well, for some reason, it's not showing my face. Maybe that'll... There it is. Oh, God. So I really hope that you all enjoy the small presentation I have learning a little bit about Gmail. And again, I do highly recommend that once you go into the Gmail app itself and you start messing around with it a little bit, it'll start becoming very familiar to you and very easy to use. Again, thank you for all your all's time. I hope you learned a little bit today, and I look forward to seeing you all and working with you all in the future. Other than that, have a wonderful day. From RCN Technologies, we do not just care about technologies. We care about the people that it helps as well. So on that, I'm ending the broadcast, and you all have a wonderful and productive day. Thank you.